know, my dad used to always tell me, you know, be available. It was kind of a little line he was saying, be available. And at first, you might not understand what that means when you hear it, but just be available for someone, especially when they might be dealing with isolation or just, you know, more by themselves than they ever have been in their life. Because some people already struggle with, say, the depression, the anxiety and stuff, or certain mental health factors. And then a pandemic hits. And I say that because I recently lost someone that committed suicide. Really think, like, damn, like, what could I have said differently? Should I have checked in more to make sure he was doing okay?
So my guest today is a former AMCAT, right? A fellow AMCAT, someone that I played college basketball with. A real good pleasure to have him on the podcast today. He is also someone that is super involved and invested in his community. He has started a nonprofit and did quite a while back. And he is continuing to push forward and push for more for people who deserve it and don't always have a voice. So it's great to have him on the podcast today. You guys might know him as Michael Gorman. I know him as G. So here he is, and I want to thank you once again, man, for coming on the show today. It's gonna be a good time.
No, yeah, of course. This one's special just because as everyone can see, the jersey Dylan's wearing, the Anna Maria. I've done I would say quite a few like podcasts. You know, I'm very grateful I've been able to like speak to different schools and stuff. But when when you're with an old teammate, someone that you were really close with, in the basketball type of atmosphere, on a daily basis in practice and the game, obviously it means a lot because, I miss my basketball guys. It's been a while, you know.
Bro, just basketball in and of itself, bro. I think about it all the time. I'm like, damn, sometimes I wish I was just struggling to wake up and go to practice every day. Like,
I know, right? It's so funny how like life progresses and you kind of look back and you appreciate moments, I think, some more.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. And it's funny because, right, I was coming in as a freshman. You were in your senior year. So as the starting point guard, you were someone that I really, really freaking looked up to. And then getting to know more about you and just how freaking humble you are, how like cool demeanored you are, but also how invested you are with everybody. There was not a person on that campus that didn't trust you, that wouldn't talk to you. It didn't matter if it was a professor, if it was a dean, or if it was, the football team or, the lacrosse team. Like, everybody just there was some sort of like magnet around you, and you just found, I could see you moving through, and you never had any problems. You were always, in terms of like with people, it was always just good vibes. So it was always, from my perspective, it was always good to just see that and have a leader like that on the court, but also off the court. So I appreciate that.
No, thank you for the kind words. That means a lot, especially coming from you, Dylan. So thanks, man.
No, of course, man. And I like to dive into people's past and kind of how that came about. Like, give everyone a sense of your background and your childhood growing up, kind of like how you came to be this person, where did you come from, and how did you get to where you are today?
Yeah, so a little brief background about myself, especially like I'm happy about this one. It's really cool because it's not like we're in the Lawrence Methuen area. It's kind of a combination, two different type of areas, where you're from. And kind of how I got started and where I'm currently at. I was very lucky. I grew up in a very supportive family. So mom and dad were there for me. Like they were the two parents that were, checking in to make sure, grades are going well, but then also being so supportive in the stands. Like, think about it. We're traveling to a lot of states at Anna Maria, probably like most of New England, a lot of different states, Rhode Island, Maine, New Hampshire, Mass, Connecticut. And they're taking a trip to every state just to be there for me in the stands. And like Norwich, Vermont, like that's not a easy drive. And they're still there in the stands, man. So to kind of sum it up, they were there for me growing up. So I was very lucky because not everyone has that, and I'm around a community where, there are a lot of people that do struggle. And so I saw friends at a young age really go down the wrong path. And I think a big piece of that was not, missing that love. So that support. So when I was 18, kind of fast forwarding a little bit, I was graduating from Methuen High School. So in my senior year, Coach Conrad sent me this packet, to work out with over the summer,
Mm.
get ready to go to my incoming freshman year. But I kind of took that packet and I kind of ran with it in an opposite direction. Not many people know about that. So I summed up, not the supportive family I had, but also this packet I was receiving during the summer. And I decided to create a second family for anyone looking for love, support, and guidance. And I had a very diverse family. Started with 8 people. We had an individual struggling with in and out of a gang. We had an individual that dropped out of high school, no father figure in the home, someone that was really lonely, thinking about depressive, suicidal thoughts. And when we first started, we used to be a workout crew, believe it or not. So we took Coach Conrad's packet, and you were literally running a 3-mile run throughout Methuen, and you were working on pushing each other, motivating each other. And these 8 people aren't like athletes. I think we had a few, but like the other ones, like they're struggling with the 3 miles, but we're like pushing each other to like, come on, let's go, let's stick together, let's stick together. And no one would ever know that now because it's been 10 years later. So we're in 2020, and that workout does not exist anymore. It's something I think about going back to because that's kind of how we originated. So now we have, we deal with a Monday meeting where we kind of talk about goals, pushing each other to be successful. So that's every Monday, 6 to 8 p.m. in a library. And then Wednesday nights, we hold a dinner for the homeless, people struggling with addiction, prostitution, things like that. So, we branched out in so many areas. It definitely takes a while to explain because, we've taken different paths throughout the years, whether it was fundraising, meeting different people along the way, and to kind of hand it back off to you for like, different questions of what area you want to dive into. But, 10 years later, over 350 individuals have been in the TMF program, ranging from, 6 years old all the way to 30s. So, we've come a long way, so I'm grateful, man. It's been a journey.
10 years, man. 10 years. And you started as Conrad's workout group.
Yeah. And not many people know that, dude, because they would think it's just like instantly, okay, you're helping the homeless, or instantly you're helping people with addiction or at-risk youth. But it started with a packet for the summer and me being creative with it. I don't want to work out like alone and stuff. But it was tough for me to leave home a little bit in my heart.
Sure.
I remember that the day before I was leaving, dude, I was actually in tears, talking to my mom because I was leaving those TMF members back home and I was going away. And it was hard for many people to understand, but I felt like I was so lucky. I'm going to school 4 years living there, and they get like stuck behind. So it really hurt me. So it was just a summer program. So when I was at Anna Maria, TMF was only, I would say, end of May and then ended in August with a banquet, go back to school. So those 4 years was just summer program.
Wow. And when you say 350 members going through the program, are there, is it just people that are coming to those Monday and Wednesday events, or is there something that you're working through and like a step of self-actualization and self-healing, and like what kind of process or program are we talking about? Are there, what is that made up of?
Yeah, so it's I would say it's unique
Yeah,
because it
good.
is grassroots, man. When I mean grassroots, like we didn't have someone we were looking up to. We didn't have someone telling us how we're gonna kind of do this program.
Yeah, you
So
built
we
it
were
from nothing.
literally starting from scratch. We had no money, we had no facility, we had no mentor that was guiding us. So when I was 18, it was mostly 18-year-olds. It was my group of friends that started it, and we were at a park, dude, and no money. So what we decided to do as it started growing the first year to 50 individuals that first summer, a car wash to raise money. We did a 3-on-3 basketball tournament at an outdoor park to raise money. And we did a yard sale in front of a church that was nice enough to let us use the front yard of their facility. And we took that money and we were bringing those 50 individuals in TMF to a zoo. And it sounds funny, but most of them have never seen a lion or an elephant before. That was cool for 18-year-olds. Like, we were laughing, having a blast.
Yeah.
We went bowling, gutter ball the first time. Like bowling, it was a thing most parents never brought their kids to. Mini golfing. little things like that. So that first year, we were running with it. We were seeing like, what do we want to do? What do we want to accomplish? And
Mm.
what we did that first summer is we did interviews with those TMF members, and I had them express themselves of the pain they were currently feeling in life, and a lot of it was the missing the father figure. And we have so many people that can be successful without a father figure, but for some individuals, that's tough. You know, missing that male figure in their life, and a lot of the individuals that were at TMF, um, they were hanging at the park all day. Like, and when you hang at the park all day, you know, it can be good if you're like playing basketball. But if you're the individual sitting behind the fence, sitting on the picnic table, you can get easily influenced,
Mm.
especially from older individuals who are showing you love, giving you attention, but then having you do the wrong things. Next thing you know, easily sucked in
Mm.
and going down the wrong road, whether it's on incarceration, selling drugs. And I feel like it was a family showing people that it's okay to do like board games, and it's okay to just,
Mm.
you know, just go around and just have a good time. Like, let's do Christmas caroling during the Christmas nights. Like these are tough kids, but doing fun things that they've never experienced. So as you know, with the structure piece that you're talking about, like what kind of program did we become or how do we operate? You know, as the years progressed, you know, after college, it became a full time, you know, 12 months in the year.
Mm.
And we have projects throughout the year. Mondays and Wednesdays, I would say if you're a TMF member, yeah, definitely looking to show up on those 2 nights to be present. You know, obviously we do have individuals who can't be there all the time, but we have certain projects we're doing, like Christmas time. I call it Christmas on the streets, 10 straight days of different type of activities to make you look at life in a different way. Um, the goal is to try to open your mind, try to see things from, you know, practice empathy, you know, practice how to put yourself in someone else's shoes, you know.
That's what's up, man. I love every freaking aspect of that. It's funny that, you know, we tend to grow old and see that like those things are childish. You know, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm too old for that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing that brings out more passion and joy and laughter than doing the crap that you did or that most kids get a chance to do.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like you said, most of these people didn't get to experience that. So, you know, you're creating memories for them for literally the rest of their lives. And it's awesome to see that it's not structured in the sense of like you're working through packets and like bullshit. Like you're working out on the streets with the public to create an experience that you may have never experienced before, right? To create something that you weren't able to have given to you. So you're out there and you're earning it. I think that's awesome.
And within time, like you know, graduate college, we do make TMF 15 plus. So you have to be 15 years old to join the program.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, as you do get wiser with years, you know, obviously, you know, it's smart to put closer range of individuals. So it's 15 up, you know, when you're a freshman in high school to be involved with the programs because there's, you know, a street aspect to it.
Yeah.
There's hard language with certain individuals that are expressing pain. So, you know, I think that's kind of, you know, where we took it. And, you know, we're still running with it, you know. It's funny, man. No one would ever understand that TMF technically we're in the 10th year and now we're becoming a nonprofit. For those 10 years, it's a route that I was not sure I wanted to take. It
Mm-hmm.
was something like because you know then it becomes tax exempt. You know, am I trying to be involved with this type of things? Like it's been going great for like 8, 9 years. Like what's
Yeah.
wrong with just doing it like this? And you know, it does help, you know, seeking donations or, you know, help from the public
Mm-hmm.
and you know, getting, you know, grants and stuff like that to be able to use this money in a positive way. But you know, we're getting into it now. But yeah, man, it's something that keeps me going. I love it. I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah.
Um when I was at school, it's something I missed a lot. Coming back in the summers and seeing everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
then, you know, it's been, you think about, we're at school, what, September to like to
To
what,
May.
May, June.
Yeah. To
And
May.
then you know, you go back home and some people are, lots changed for them in those months not being around. They don't come back to TMF the next summer.
Mm-hmm.
New faces, individuals that fortunately had a slip up. So it was interesting to go back in the summers and experience who's around that summer, you know?
Yeah, that can be a game changer, man. 9 months, it's like when you realize how much can happen to somebody in 9 months in a positive or negative way, you start to really, or you say you stop taking for granted what you can accomplish in that 9 months and how fast a year goes by, and what can really, come from just taking an idea like, hey, I need someone to work out with, and all of a sudden 10 years later, look where you are. You know what I'm saying? But it was a simple thought, an idea that you started to run with for 2-3 months that turned into this.
Mm-hmm.
Without that initial step, nothing happens. It's crazy. It's the same way you progressively get better at basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
You probably came out the womb smooth with it, but like,
Funny. Yeah,
but
man.
it took practice, right? And like anything, it always will. And the same way, it's going to take practice getting used to it being a nonprofit and having to deal with the back end, the legal stuff that comes
Mm-hmm.
with that. But I think that's a good move. I would love to be able to help in any way. Is there any way that people watching this can, assist or help, or can go to and help with fundraising?
Yeah, so we look at like locations. So those 2 days we kind of really concentrate on during the week. So Wednesday nights we'll start there. That started in 2018. So 8 years later, we noticed some people that were sleeping at the bus station,
Mm.
that were homeless on the benches. And Lawrence has a unique bus station. They actually have like a roof over it. It's huge. You can drive in from both sides. A lot of bus stations aren't that big.
Mm.
So we had homeless people sleeping in there, and we went back to our TMF meeting on Monday, and like, man, there's like some homeless people, sleep on those benches. Like, why don't we just like pull up a table and some chairs and like try a dinner? And like it just started with some small thing like that. Like, screw it. So we have one circle table, right?
Mm.
We had 5 chairs we were able to find somewhere, and then still like not a program that had a bunch of money in 2018. We're using it for different things. So we went to Little Caesars Pizza, picked up 5 boxes of $5 pizza. As you know, it's like a cheap. And so we went to the bus station, literally pulled out this table in the middle of the bus station, and put the pizzas on top of the table, and just kind of yelled out like, "Hey, anybody want some pizza? Come on over." And then as a few people started walking over, there was only like 4 or 5 homeless individuals that night. I told them to like sit down around the table, let's have like a dinner together, a little family dinner. It's like laughing about it. Let's have a little family dinner to kind of make it in a joking way, but actually like mean it at the same time. So we all sat, had some pizza. Now pizza's not somewhere you kind of, it's not a lot of food here, so it's usually a grab and go type item. So
Yeah.
people ate it pretty quick and left. But I was like, well, getting back in that car with the TMF members, I was like, holy crap, man! Like this, it could actually like work. Like we should actually bring a couple more tables, maybe bring different types of food, or we can actually sit down. There was like a mix, like turkey, mashed potatoes. Like let's mix it up, maybe serve it to them. Who
Yeah.
knows, right? So second week goes by, pizza again. Third week, I think it was pizza. Then fourth, fifth week, we started to really switch it up. We found like 20 chairs, 4 tables. Next thing you
Mm-hmm.
know, word on the street passes quickly. So next thing you know, you just go by on Wednesday night, these couple, individuals set up a few tables. They got food. Like, come check it
Yeah.
out. So then it's growing. And I'm like, holy crap. So next thing you know, a few months in, we have 100 people at the bus station in Lawrence. Dude, it was
That's
nuts. Like
crazy.
I'm sitting back there, and my dad, so he's like and my mom too, but my dad he looks at life a lot. So like I find myself, following his footsteps, the way he thinks about things, like
Mm.
appreciating. So I take a step back. I'm literally standing by the cars as I see all these homeless people. We have 100 people in the bus station in a line, and the TMF members serving the food. We have like 10 different options of food, buffet style. We
Yeah.
have one huge long dinner table where everyone can take a seat.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it and I'm like, wow, man, like that started with one table, a few TMF members, and 3 homeless people. I'm watching 100 people in this bus station right now. And then I'm like, I think to be special with things, you got to be creative.
Mm.
You have to be different. I feel like there's so many programs that they work around the same thing, and it's going for the same problem,
Mm.
but they all do similar aspects.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, we have 100 people in this bus station right now. Let me try to bring in some services. So I was able to get Tewksbury Detox, have a table inside the bus station and sits
Damn.
there. The admissions department. We had a methadone clinic there for anybody that wanted outpatient help. We started having like a mobile Walmart. We brought in hangers and these big things, and we hung up clothes. They can now look through the clothes in the bus station about what they want. And then we decided to bring in a prayer table. But it wasn't just a regular prayer table. It was people that did incarceration, prison time, that found God behind the bars. That I feel like could connect to people on the street easier because they've done a lot of, maybe crimes or done the wrong things in their life and now trying to seek God as a way out. And then the last couple of things we did is we brought in haircuts. So I brought in the barber, we cut in hair, and then we did manicures and hair braiding. So it's like, what the? So it like really ran with it, but it ended painfully. A year into the bus station, the week before Thanksgiving, the mayor of Lawrence sends the police department to the bus station, and they shut us down completely. And I had this newspaper reporter who knew a little bit about politics and how people higher up work. Yes. So we decided to, their big thing about shutting it down is we found a couple needles, we found trash in the bus station, but we left that place immaculate. Every time we left, we made it a important piece to clean up the bus station. So we get shut down. We have a candle vigil outside the bus station, about 50 to 75 people holding candles outside the bus station on a mic about what it meant to them. And then we decided to go to City Hall, and I had the TMF members speak from the heart on a microphone in front of all the city councilors about what this meant to them. And I had individuals that joined TMF that used to sleep on a bench in a bus station, joined TMF, got sober, now speaking on a microphone in front of city council. Well, next thing you know, we win the votes. City council votes for TMF to get the bus station back over the mayor. But what happens with political stuff is the mayor's allowed to put in one more thing, and they have to do a revote. So if the city council votes in favor of TMF again, then we're good. Unfortunately, we lost by one vote. A woman voted no. She changed her thing, and we lost the bus station. So fast forward a year later, we're now at a different area. That's the history of the bus station, man. And I miss those days. Wow. This is where we are now. We're at a different location on Wednesday nights.
That's crazy, man. And what is it that just continues to drive you in, like, I was told no, like, I'm just gonna keep going? Is it hearing the stories? Is it seeing the people real close to you go through their transitions? Or is it just the feeling that you get from being the leader of something so grand and so different and unique than anything else out there?
I think it's good question, man. Really cool question. I think it's bigger than me, dude. I think it's bigger than me, And I look at it as like I have a TMF member, a 15-year-old girl, right? And she's telling me she feels more love at the bus station of making people making her feel comfortable than she does in her own home. And I saw tears in her eyes when the bus station closed down. And it hurts me as like the person that starts it. And I see people who, we've gotten into programs and come back and speak on the microphone inside the bus station about how, man, I was sleeping on that bench, I'm 3 months clean. I just got out of a program, happy to be back. And, those type of people keep me going. It's like, wow, like it's really working. It's not just me with an idea I had, something I'm passionate about. And, it transcended to this. Like it was helping people that were in TMF, not struggling with addiction or homelessness, making them feel important by serving drinks and serving food and, building a relationship with a homeless man who now means so much to her and really loves going on Wednesdays to talk to him. And then losing it all, man, it hurt. And what keeps me going is stuff like that. So we're at a new location on Wednesdays. We ended up getting a private parking lot from a man who has a location that's now it's private property, so it's not public owned. Yeah, they really can't take that away now, unless if it was a crazy situation that went down. So we take care of the property. We've been there for a year and some change now, and we're still rolling with it. Do I miss that bus station, man? Yeah, just because that's where it originated from. That's where we planted the seed. We started with nothing. You go in there at 9 o'clock at night. It was 9 to 11. It was late. Buses stopped running at 8 something, and you go in there at night, just the homeless sleeping. And we're currently doing a documentary on TMF, and one of the scenes is going to be looking at the bus station now completely empty, and going back to an old photo of 100 people that were in that bus station. Some that aren't alive anymore, some that are clean now, some that are still struggling, and then TMF members that have come and go. and I'm excited to see where this documentary takes off. But it's been history in the 10 years. It really has. Things change. I remember in the circle at the bus station telling everyone cherish moments. Because life changes, and we look at it now, and things do. We're not at the bus station anymore.
Yeah.
Now I tell them to cherish things at this new property. People come and go. Cherish relationships, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah, man, that's freaking. I got the chills hearing that. It's so powerful, bro. I wish it was as easy as you make it sound for people everywhere to do stuff like this,
Mm,
because it's it is obviously happening all around the world. There are people doing things like this, but in everything that is going on in 2020, especially in this world, the things that have come to light, there's so much more of it that needs to be done, and there's so much undoing of bad things that needs to happen as well, and you're doing both at the same time, man. So I definitely just admire the shit out of that.
thank you. Man.
Of course, man. And with everything you have going on, like you said, you might start to bring back like workouts. Or is there like a yearly, I know you said you did a 3-on-3 tournament, is there like a yearly tournament that you do, or is there something like a softball league that you might start, or might you just get back into like Saturday mornings, come work out with us at a local park? uh,
Mm.
is that something that's run through your mind, or that you're looking to
It
maybe
does.
move
It's
forward?
funny. One of the old team members lives in Louisiana now. Actually made a post on Facebook like 3 days ago. Pictures of the workouts back in the day. She was an original 2012 member. She started a year later, and missing those days. It's something I think about. We've been lucky. There's been so many beautiful people from the community that pitch in with money or pitch in with donations. So it hasn't been like 100% need for a fundraiser. But in regards to those workouts, it's something I do want to get back as an aspect of TMF, because that's how we started the program with a run, and now it's originated to these type of things. But yes, I think kind of picking the right day of the week, getting a few people that will be dedicated to kind of lead that if I can't be there all the time on say a certain day,
Mm-hmm.
and pushing through with that, going back to the old route we used to do. I think it would be good. As long as we get quite a few dedicated TMF members that will be serious about it and kind of want to, go back to that 100%, man, 100%.
Because I think with everything you're doing from a mental standpoint and from a social support standpoint, it's mm, you know I, it's now my life and my career. The ability to help yourself through exercise is absolutely insane,
Mm,
and the positive vibe that you literally get inside of you, the hormones that are released, everything that there's so much on a physiological level that exercise can do for you. And even the social bond of going through something tough together, right? Putting yourself through an exercise routine, or through a workout, or through a run, or like a 5K, like a local,
mm-hmm.
something like that can just bring people even closer together. So I think that would
I
be,
love it. Yeah, no, it's so true, man. So true. 100% in agreement with that.
I mean, it's the same way for us, right? You don't get stronger as a team unless you go through some shit on the court, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It really does happen that way. When there's fights in the locker room between, Pedro and freaking whatever,
Yeah,
like
yeah, no, it's true, man. You go
like
through things to grow through it,
yeah,
especially.
absolutely, man. And in terms of basketball, Um, I want to keep running on that. What is it that basketball did for you that you feel like you might be missing out on? Because I have an idea of what it did for me, but I don't know.
Missing out. What do I miss about the basketball piece?
Yeah, yeah.
So, as kind of a background, basketball was my life, dude. I miss it. I wish I played more currently. I don't play as, even before the COVID started, like I wasn't really playing. I played in one league with Pat, maybe a while back, maybe a
Mm-hmm.
year ago. But you know, I think I was so lucky, I started playing at age 5, at the Lawrence YMCA. It's where it started, and I was lucky to continue playing all the way to college. To be able to play college basketball, you know, Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. The amount of talent that's in each division is amazing because we had Division 3 guys, whether it was Albertus Magnus or different places, had Division 1 scholarships, just didn't take that route, whether it was academic problems
Mm-hmm.
or kicked out, whatever reason maybe. Division 3 basketball is legit, like it really is. I miss that family piece. Coach Carter, I miss having a coach, man. I miss my teammates in a whole. Just like the trips, traveling together, in situations where it's down to the wire and you know sweat porn and like we're really trying to just squeak this one out. And it's if you're not in those locker rooms too, man, those locker rooms those get intense.
Yeah.
And especially with Conrad, dude, man, he puts his life on the line for that. Like that, he lives by that game. And
Yeah.
there's a few times where I think he broke the
The clipboard.
whatever you call it, the board there, and he's just so passionate about it. And basketball relates to the life piece of it because he's teaching you life lessons at the same time, man.
Mm-hmm.
And memories in college with the teams I had for those 4 years, were amazing, man. I miss it so much,
Yeah.
because you play in leagues too, but you don't have the coach, you don't have the fans. It's not the same environment, and those college days, nothing like them.
Yeah, man. There's something to be said about, practicing, right? Like literally going to the same place for 2 hours a day with the same people for 6 months straight and just balls to the wall, everything you got, competing, sweating, calling each other out. Like it's not all, sunshine and rainbows in there. And it's certainly not when you lose a game because of a stupid mistake. Or it's funny because you also, like you said, the life lessons you take are absolutely absurd. You can't compare it. The opportunity to learn about perseverance when you're down 15 with 6 minutes left in a game. Like there's so much opportunity in sport to learn about how you can hear no from the mayor, but why not keep going? Find somewhere else to go. Find something else to do. They take away the post game. All right, we got to find out another way to get the ball in the hoop, right? They start a press, right? Now they're pressing. We got to figure out a way to beat the press. And it's funny, like I don't think you realize in the moment how much of an opportunity it is to learn for something outside the court until it's over and done with.
Oh, of course, man. If you come in as a incoming freshman, you know, say we have a few freshmen join the team. Don't know you guys from a hole in the wall. But as time goes with the practice, I think the first couple months or first month is just so important, so crucial to be able to grow together. So say if if I get picked or someone beats me off the dribble, like I turn into a brother where you're instantly stepping in the paint to either take a charge or help me out. And same thing goes for your teammates. Next thing you know, like you're doing whatever, and you grow this bond. You didn't know someone from a hole in the wall that walked through this door, incoming freshman, a transfer from a different program, and you grow with them. You might not be close to them in the beginning, whether it's personal or on the court, but within time, that's your brother on the court, diving for the ball, taking a charge, communicating. I got help, and you transcend. And it's hard for people that don't understand the game of basketball, or understand sports, details, but it is life in a sense. Helping people out, being there for somebody. If it was, 1 second on the clock here and I got 2 free throws down by one, and I was to, miss both, right? I guarantee you or a couple of my teams would be the first people to come meet me at the foul line and kind of, keep my head back up to the bench. It's all right, man. It's gonna be okay. And you look at that in a sense, like, certain situations like you'll beat yourself up, made a mistake. I got 2 chances to make a free throw here, down by one, to at least get us to overtime. Missed 2 free throws. Instantly, I'd probably drop to the ground, especially if it was like to get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And guarantee you or other people would instantly not shake hands yet. Hold up on that. Come, grab me, bring me back to the line. It's gonna be okay, Michael. They'll put away their personal feelings about the loss and
Yeah.
make sure you're okay as a teammate. And looking back at it, man, it's like wow, like you get grateful for basketball. You get grateful for the classes you took in college. You know, you in the mornings at Anna Maria, you probably don't want to wake up for the 8 o'clock, and it's like, oh man,
Definitely
it's
not.
8 o'clock.
It's cold as
So,
hell, bro.
you know, but you look at it, then you're working a full-time job the rest of your life, and you might miss some of those classes with some of the people you were in or learning about a certain
Yeah.
subject. And it's interesting. You learn as you go. You really do. You learn as you go.
And then it's like simple, right? Because it starts on the court, and then all of a sudden you see each other in the cafeteria, and you start busting balls, and we're sitting together, and then all of a sudden, sometimes it's like there's 6 of you at a table, and you just eat dinner with each other for 4 hours for no good reason, because like you're just bonding, you're growing, you're having conversations. It's just raw and organic, and we lose a lot of that when you leave social places like college, right? You leave high school and you may never go to college, but in high school the same thing happened. It's just that, that ever growing self-actualization of who you are, who you want to be around, what you're willing to sacrifice for sure.
Sure, man, definitely.
It's crazy. What has this year taught you, if anything? There's a lot going on in this world, bro. I think we can all self-reflect, and you obviously are someone that reflects pretty often. What has this year 2020 as of yet? What has that brought out of you, and what has it shown you, or what have you learned from it?
Yeah, so with this whole, if I could even consider maybe the pandemic for a second, this comes out of nowhere. We get hit with the pandemic. I'm one of the individuals that was luckily able to work through the entire thing. I'm a clinician currently at a methadone clinic. So people that are struggling with opiates, fentanyl, heroin, Percocets, codeine, drugs like that. I'm there still throughout this whole pandemic with the counseling and the groups, continuing to do that. So, you see a lot because these individuals are already struggling with, say, addiction, homelessness and stuff. Then a pandemic hits, right? And everyone's really told to stay home, only go out if you need to, social distancing, wear a mask. And, my dad used to always tell me, be available. It was kind of a little line he was saying, be available. And at first, you might not understand what that means when you hear it, but just be available for someone, especially when they might be dealing with isolation or just, more by themselves than they ever have been in their life. Because some people already struggle with, say, the depression, the anxiety and stuff, or certain mental health factors. And then a pandemic hits and you're really isolated, and you really got to kind of, how are we going to stay busy here, being in the home here? Only so many things you can do,
Yeah.
Especially if you can't get out the home, you don't have to work or you don't have to go here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough, man. I think it's the mental strength that comes to play with it. Being mentally strong, being there for someone, checking in with people you haven't checked in a while, whether it's a family member you haven't talked to in a couple of years, or maybe a friend you haven't talked to since high school, checking in with them. How's everything going? And I say that because I recently lost someone that committed suicide. I was actually working at the clinic, and I was talking to my client over the phone Friday. And, he asked me a simple question. I answered it. We talked for a couple minutes. Next day, Saturday afternoon, they found him hanging. He hung himself and he killed himself. And man, when I wouldn't have known at all from that phone call, that man was struggling that bad with, personal thoughts. I started to really think like, damn, like, what could I have said differently? Should I have checked in more, make sure he was doing okay? Unfortunately, I don't think it would be healthy to beat myself up totally with kind of thinking about different outcomes here. At the end of the day, it was a decision he made because he couldn't take it anymore. And he took his own life. But I think that's where the be available comes in. Check in with people, make sure they're good, especially maybe that person doesn't have a wide variety of friends. Because I think that's important. And man, sometimes the little things in life mean the most. If you have someone check in with you, a random call, it's like, holy crap, Dylan's calling. You haven't heard from him in a long time. And you pick up the phone and you answer that text, it's like, wow, man, like I actually crossed that dude's mind. Thought about me, saw how I was doing. It makes you feel better inside as a person. Next thing you know, maybe you'll pay it forward to somebody else. Maybe now, Dylan checks in with me. Maybe I'll check in with somebody else, see how they're doing. That's kind of the pay it forward process I live by too. Ask nothing in return. Don't give me nothing. Just do it for somebody else now. So I think that's what it taught me in a time like this.
Dude, I love every aspect of that. The whole concept of, my brand and my idea of limitless theory is that I myself, right, I cannot fly, okay? I am not limitless, okay? I have limits. There are boundaries, but we also have those as humans, right? I cannot swim as fast as a shark. Like it is a limit from a physical standpoint. There are limits from a mental standpoint, and this, that, and the next. But with the understanding that we are always evolving means that my choices do create a ripple effect throughout the rest of the world, throughout the rest of society, throughout everything that is the human race. And our choices as a human society impact other animals, right? We know that for a fact. That impacts the geographical things that are happening in the sky, whether it comes to rain or whether it comes to the oceans being, flooded and less ice. All of this plays a factor, and every choice we make as individuals definitely creates the opportunity for a ripple effect. And like you said, reaching out to someone automatically puts it in their head subconsciously, maybe I should reach out to somebody. And that can go so far, man. And these conversations right here, the more they're had, right, the more they become natural, and the more that they become less like, oh, that's, it's weird to have that kind of a deep conversation with someone you haven't seen in a while or something like that. But I saw a video a couple of years ago, man, and it was called Big Talk versus Small Talk, or it was called just Big Talk, sorry. And it was a concept about this University of Southern California, USC chick. She was doing this whole, documentary interview where she was literally just stopping random people on the street and asking them like one or two super deep philosophical personal questions. And all of a sudden, like, they would just open up and pour their hearts out. And the next thing you know, she was like, all right, I want to meet with you again in 2 weeks. And she would ask, and they would be like, yeah, I ended up having a similar conversation with somebody, and and they just started creating connections, and the conversations began to be far more advanced. And whenever I think about stuff like that, it is crazy to see what we can do, right? And how much we have, how much power we have in a sense, where just checking in on somebody, just practicing gratitude, just even, in today's world, like sharing something that your friend is doing on social media, right? Like, it goes a long, long, long way, and it's far further than we can ever see, but it's important, and I'm glad that something that this year has brought out, or made you just kind of realize and think about more. Obviously, you do this stuff on a daily basis. That is the basis of TMF, right? And that's just ingrained in you. But I don't think everyone has that ingrained in them as well as you do, or they're not as connected as well. So it's awesome to hear that you continuously, remind people of that. It's once again, dude, just like the amount of good that you're bringing into this world is crazy. Can't
Oh,
thank
thank
you
you,
enough
man.
for
It means
all
a
of it,
lot, dude.
man.
For sure. Thank you.
For sure, dude, for sure. And with everything going on as well, and with Kobe passing, right? Like, all of these things that have happened in the world, um, I think taking time to reflect is something that I've been lacking, but I feel like there's a need to do. Is that something that you do often? Like, are you big on like keeping a journal, or are you big on like writing what you're grateful for, or are these just like mental practices that you go through?
So I'm always trying to like, man, like right now, so I teach groups, so I teach class for people struggling with drugs,
Mm-hmm.
and right now I'm teaching them that I'm personally trying to practice right now, and that's the word mindfulness. A lot of people don't know what the word mindfulness means. You'll hear answers like, oh, maybe just thinking in a different way, and it is technically, but mindfulness, being aware of the present moment. And I don't think that a lot of us are. We kind of going 100 miles per hour during the day. trying to get, whether it's errands done, a workout in, head back to work, make this phone call. Next thing you know, gotta get some sleep, gotta wake up in the morning again, and you're going 100 miles per hour. You mentioned whether it's Kobe or some of the things that have happened as of recently that have been huge. And I think practicing mindfulness is big, being aware in the present moment. Whether it's the nature. I used to work for inmates, being released on parole, that have not been in the community for a long time, like maybe like mass armed robbery, did like 5 years straight,
Mm-hmm.
straight upstate, and come out, even like nature, appreciating the trees, the flowers, being mindfulness of the present moment, the wind that's we feel in the wind right now,
Sure.
especially how do you practice mindfulness? Be maybe going for a little drive,
Mm.
by yourself, maybe with the music low, just kind of observing, going for a drive, getting yourself some food. It's kind of hard with the restaurants right now, but just just understanding what's around you, and being aware. Because sometimes, man, life goes like this. And then with me, you lose somebody, or someone moves away, and it's like, man, I wish I. You always hear all the time, man, I wish I like spent more time, or I wish I took the time to check in more, and just be aware, cherish, like even things like a podcast like this, man, like 1:30 today on a Sunday, podcast with you, which means a lot. But we'll look back at it like, damn, Dylan, like 2 years ago, remember that podcast, Limitless Theory, we
Yeah.
checked in with, and it's like, be aware of the present moment. And if I could, reiterate that, I would, man, because I don't think we practice that enough. It's always 100 miles per hour to get things
Yeah.
done. Just stop, breathe, like, going on, man. Who's around, who's in the room right now.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate.
Yeah. And I know you said like go get a meal and just kind of like eat. That's a simple one that I try to um, make people aware of, especially like nutrition clients. I work with, excuse me, a lot of people who are like um, have very, very, very stressful, high end jobs, and the ability for them to just like sit down and take a second to like decompress is like non-existent. It's a crazy thought for them. Like if you could just like take 2 hours and not have the TV on and not have the music going maybe, or just keep like a good like, tune going in the background, and just like even cooking for 2 hours, like just being in the kitchen and worrying nothing more than like don't cut my finger off while I'm that you have to be in the moment when you do something like that. It's the same way like
Exactly.
basketball, you're
Exactly.
at the free throw line, you're not thinking of anything else.
Gotta block everybody out, man.
Yo, and that's to circle back, bro, that's what I miss about basketball was that I never worried about anything else. When I was on the court, bro, there was no other worry in the world. And once I'm on the court, and I know you were the same way, it's like, shit, I'll stay. I'll just keep playing. I'll keep
Mm,
playing. Like we're running fives at the court. I'll just keep playing. We would play 3-on-3 or 2-on-2 after practice was over. You had a 2.5 hour practice. Conrad made us do suicides till someone puked. And then here we are, like, still playing basketball after. Like, those are the things that I miss about basketball. It's the same reason I like to go to the beach and, like, go surfing or, like, activities where you have to be both mentally and physically and spiritually just there.
mm-hmm.
uh, it it makes a big difference. And I think we lose sight of that, like you said, um, being mindful of what you're doing in that present moment. Like when you are at the beach and you like don't look at your phone, crazy concept, and you hear the waves crashing, and you look
Mm,
around and you see the boats out on the ocean, and you see people, you see kids playing with the sand, and like you just realize that there's so much more going on than what's always going on in here,
yeah,
or
yeah.
always going
Good point.
on this thing, right? uh, it's wild. It really is. So in terms of what you do on a day-to-day basis for your job, um, does does that stuff ever come home with you? Like that's heavy. Um, like I have a really good friend who works in like a bipolar and addiction facility as like a psychologist. it's heavy stuff. Like hearing the stories, does that stuff come home with you? How do you separate that from who you are, your vibe, your positivity? How does that all that, play a role?
Yeah, good question, man. Because I would let things take come home with me just because it's so heavy and deep, you know.
Mm.
But that's kind of when the you learn in the social work field the burnout piece to it, and the personal health with it. Because that some of the stuff you deal with, whether it's overdose, suicide, jail, losing kids, DCF, so much involved with it. Drugs just in general. You gotta kind of I give it my all when I'm there, really 100%. Then when I'm out of there, I really, gotta kind of separate the two at the times too, just because it wouldn't be healthy if I didn't.
Yeah.
I'd just keep myself alive. And if I was home, just kind of replaying everything I just heard throughout the day. I have family, um, and that just wouldn't be fair to other people that, I love and care about. And especially myself, my mind, just, burnout, practicing self-care is huge,
Yeah.
whether it's working out, going for whatever, a drive, something, but just to clear your head a little bit, because burnout does happen, and it's so common, especially if people don't know how to differentiate the two. Uh, easily go downhill themselves.
Yeah, for sure. Do you meditate?
I don't, but
No.
it's actually it's funny, the workbook that I'm actually teaching right now, a huge section about meditation.
Yeah.
Um, haven't really gone to that section purposely yet, but
Can't teach
no,
what you
it's
haven't
I
done,
think
right?
I hear people talk about it, and it's something that people express has been very very beneficial
Mm,
for them, and I've been encouraged to try even mindfulness. It's funny that you bring it up, but I actually done yoga a couple times,
okay.
and there's different types of yoga,
Yeah.
and but one of them was more mind, just basically the meditation piece to it,
Mhm.
and very interesting, relaxing. I think it's very healthy. So it's something I definitely want to 100% practice more.
Yeah.
Sure.
If there's one thing I would definitely tell you to do, especially with what you do for work, man, I would definitely say meditation is huge. And it's the amount of clarity you can get from it, because we experience about 60,000 thoughts per day, right? And we only really process and come in full contact with like maybe 2,000 of them, right? Um, to sit there with silence or with some sort of frequency playing or like even nature sounds, right? And being mindful of more of those thoughts that are running through your head is
Mm,
really crazy and profound. And the ability to decompress the rest of your body, like you said, we're always running 100 miles per hour, 100 miles per hour. When you get into the flow of meditation, and it's not about, people have this weird thought that it's about turning your brain off or like not thinking.
mm,
It's the opposite. It's literally just coming in contact with all of those thoughts, being more aware and mindful of those thoughts. Um, and obviously, the uh, the goal isn't to necessarily get stuck on one. That is, you can do forms of meditation where like you go in with an intent and you want to focus on something and dive deeper and deeper and unveil the layers of it. But to begin, just literally breathing and being aware of more of those thoughts, I will open my eyes and be like, oh yeah, I forget I was laying here. Like
mm,
you don't even
like,
recognize and realize where you're going. It's it quite literally feels like an out of body experience. There's so many aspects of it that can help your nervous system decompress, can alleviate inflammation, can increase serotonin and dopamine levels, which are the same things you get, obviously, from exercising, or it's the same thing that people look for from drugs, right?
mm-hmm.
It is, it is so, it's just hard to explain, mate. I would love to see you. I would love to see you do that and hear you, hit me
uh,
up, be like, "Yo, dude,
no, no, have you bring it up because it's something that like I've thought about for a while too. There's never really I haven't really dove too deep into it, so it's always something I should definitely try out,
Yeah, and there's different ways to do it. You can do it just by yourself, focusing on like breathing. There's basic concepts of like I teach something called LT360 breathing, which is great for beginners. 3 seconds in through the nose, 3 seconds out through the mouth, and
I
then
have to bring you to a TMF meeting on a Monday
yeah,
to go through
yeah.
one of these exercises. I'm not even joking, dude. I think that would be a good maybe a night if you ever in the near future when things go back to normal to be able to even do breathing exercises, kind of as like even like dim the lights, quiet atmosphere in there. And I think
hmm
that'd be really good for me and the members as well. If you ever have
Dude,
time in the future, for sure.
I would be down to do that. It's just it can, especially if you do it in an atmosphere with people like that, it would be super
Hmm.
powerful, especially to like do it and then let everyone kind of reflect and like have conversation about it
That
would be
piece too,
super
yeah,
cool.
for sure.
Um, there's just certain ways to do it. And you can also, there's an app I use every night. I put meditation music on to help me go to sleep. It's super beneficial. It's not that I'm sitting there really practicing meditation as I go to sleep, but just the calm nature of like, sounds in the background, right?
Hmm.
Whether
Yeah.
it's a waterfall or like birds chirping or nature, wind blowing, and hearing the forest, super calming, and it helps a ton with just like my quality of sleep and ability to fall asleep faster. But there's apps out there, like I use one called Insight Timer that they have a lot of guided meditations on there too. So
Hmm.
like a 10-minute guided meditation with someone, walking you through like focus on this, focus on that. You just eyes closed and just breathe and listen to them is a good way to start and learn. So
Mm.
I can
That's
shoot you
dope.
that app too.
Yeah, please
Yeah,
do, man. Definitely
yeah,
for
of course.
sure.
Man, that would be that would take your mindfulness class to a whole new level.
Yeah, no, no, it's something because like it's in there for a reason, man. Like it's in that workbook for a reason. They don't just put it in
Yeah.
the workbook. They obviously think it can be very beneficial,
Yeah.
especially for individuals in that type of atmosphere and the addiction piece. Like it's in there for the reason. So
Yeah.
that'll be something we gotta check out for sure.
It is quite literally the it can create the same physiological release of dopamine that doing drugs can. So
Awesome
definitely something that you can talk to and speak on and educate them of. So
stuff. I'll
man,
have to
I
give
got
you. I'll definitely give you the follow up with it all too. We should definitely keep in touch with that for sure.
for sure, bro. I'm down. I like we said, right? Stay in contact more.
Yeah, it's huge, man. Cause it's been a while, since I've even like I haven't seen you in years, and then being
Yeah.
able like when you reached out to me, I think it was like what 2 weeks, a week or two ago, just
Yeah,
checking
probably. Yeah,
in.
I think it was two.
Yeah, and it
Yep.
was definitely meant a lot. Your name on the floor. Wow, man, Dylan, it's been a while, dude. So I was so happy you checked in, man, and beyond grateful to be on the podcast. I think that's amazing what you're doing. I wasn't too aware of it. Honestly, maybe it's just through the fact that we're not in like the same community
Yeah,
or
no.
the same friend zone. But I
Different
think
world.
that's amazing. I think it's so cool. You got different guests going on the show.
Thank you.
I'll definitely be a supporter of it 100%.
Appreciate
So let me know how I can keep up to date with kind of the guests, whether it's I don't know how often you're doing these weekly, bi-weekly, a couple times a month. But keep me
Sound
posted because I would love to kind of like just share it because I think it can be knowledgeable. I think people enjoy podcasts. They just
yeah.
don't know. They ask for recommendation, any good podcast. I have heard that quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So, to be able to, send them a certain link and have them check out. Next thing you know,
Sure.
maybe there'll be more on that, more usual, a certain podcast.
Absolutely, man. And something I posted today was a clip from a previous podcast that I did, and it was we're all fighting battles, and we're all writing our own story,
Mm,
right?
powerful.
Like we all have a story to tell, and that's my goal with the podcast, man, is to invite people on that have a story to tell that can influence and create that ripple effect of people being grateful for what they have, people persevering through the things that they've gone through,
So,
and people creating change in the world that is needed, is positive, and that is not easy to go about, right? Nothing in this life comes easy. You got to
mm,
work for it. And by people sharing their stories and hearing things like the mayor shut us down, but we found a new place to go to, that's like it speaks to people, and like it's so easy to come up with an excuse for why not to work out, all my clothes were dirty.
Mm.
Do laundry, then you can work out. Crazy concept. Or do this, like I didn't. I left my shoes in my car. Work out without shoes on. Nobody had shoes 2,000 years ago. Were they like, forgot my shoes by the campfire, can't go hunting today, guess we won't eat? No. It's like brings things into perspective, man. And you've definitely done that for me with me staying in contact with what you guys are doing with TMF and hearing more about your story. I wish we got to connect more while we were in school.
Oh,
I
no,
wish
yeah,
I had
tough.
taken more time to kind of seek you out as like a mentor of sorts, being a senior, me being as a freshman. But we definitely we did something right because we ended up
No, yeah, man, definitely.
working out.
People are in good hands with you with this podcast. Doing a good thing, man. That's awesome. Then, with time moving forward, obviously, still in a unique place right now with the world,
Yeah,
kind of with
crazy.
this pandemic. But when things do ease, definitely whether catching a game together, someone going back to an Anna Maria game, kind of, just watching a game, something small like that, or just anything in general, even like a call, checking in and stuff, would
For
be
sure.
good for sure.
Who's to say we can't do two podcasts?
Yeah, definitely, man. Keep me posted. I
Don't
would
have to
love to,
stop
dude.
at one. All right, man. I
Sure.
appreciate that. Last thing I want you to shout out here is where people can kind of keep tabs on everything that is you and TMF, and if they wanted to help donate or fund money for you guys, where they could go, maybe online. I don't know if you guys have a website set up or if you
Yeah,
have a
so
good social
no,
media.
definitely good question. Happy you bring that up. So Facebook, if anyone has Facebook, that's actually just the movement family.
Okay,
So you can find us on there. Probably our biggest following is Facebook.
cool.
It's because we've had it for 10 years, that
Yeah.
page. Instagram, it's a newer page, only a couple months in on that one. I believe I gave it to you. You might have to repeat that at some point
Yeah.
moving forward. It's the movement family. I think there's like a undermark with that as well. And last, we have the Movement Fam One on Twitter. So I
Okay.
have different TMF females that do each social media. So I have a female girl does the Twitter one, the Instagram one, the Facebook one. Keeps them really involved too. Makes
Yeah,
them feel
that's
really
awesome.
cool being able to get that done. So yeah, that's the social media, guys. And if you are still kind of want to know more about TMF in a whole, or still having trouble understanding the whole concept, if you just put the movement family Lawrence, Mass, you can find pages of articles or like situations we've been through. I think it's pretty interesting to see throughout the years, whether it was the Boston Globe, the Herald, the Eagle Tribune, throughout the years and where we've come from. You can also do that as well.
That would be awesome. So I'll make sure to put all of that in like the description for the on Spotify or on YouTube and
Yeah, definitely send me that stuff too, so I can share with the TMF members. I'm sure they would love to check in with that.
for
And then
sure.
especially like where we have a lot of supportive people in the community too, so they like seeing stuff like this. And especially it's cool because you hear maybe podcasts in like our own community, but hearing podcasts, not in the Lawrence Methuen area, it may be more intriguing for someone to check out too, like, oh, what's
For
Limitless
sure.
Theory, and kind of look
A
into it.
lot going on in the
Send me
world,
that.
man.
Yeah, def man.
Can
But yeah, no,
expand
thank
can
you so
expand
much,
learning.
man. Appreciate it, dude.
Of course, man. I can't thank you enough. And everybody, once again, please go check that out. And continue to check in. And if you can, or if you're inspired, start something in your own community. I think that would be great for everyone to do, whether it's just in your family or whether it's in your close group of friends. You have no idea where it can go. So take it and run with it. Once again, man, I appreciate you, G. Hope you have a
All right, my man.
great rest of your day. All right.
You as well. I'll shoot you a message. I'll give you a call.
All right. Sounds good.
All right,
So,
boss.
until next time.
Sounds good, man.
Peace. What's up, LT Tribe? DFOS here, just to express my gratitude and say thank you for tuning in and continuously commenting, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the episodes and the content that we are bringing you. It is helping so much. Once again, I want to say thank you and hope you have a great rest of your day. These times there's one thing that we can count on to keep us connected, and that is the one and only video conferencing platform, Zoom. Zoom is an amazing platform. It's the very platform that I use to record the visual portion of the LT360 podcast. I also used it today to share a business plan and stay connected with someone that wanted to learn more about products and services that we offer. And I also used it to train a virtual personal training client this morning. It is virtually simplistic, very simplistic. Anybody can use it, and we just scored an amazing deal. As unfranchised owners, you can get the $160 valued membership through Zoom for just $9.99 per month. Instead of paying $160 per month for unlimited recording access and storage and tons of other features, you can pay $9.99 per month and save nearly $1,800 per month. You best believe it. I signed up, I created and transferred my account over to this pro account, and I will not be looking back, because that $9.99 per month that I'm paying also comes with a residual 15% IBV commissions. Each and every month that I pay out $9.99, I'm getting 15% commissions on that in the form of IBV, and I cannot think of an easier and better way to stay connected with my team and help my team get paid. So make sure you head over to your back office, go to my account, go to my services, and look up Zoom video conferencing. You will not be disappointed. Let's all use Zoom to help us stay connected and get financially fit together. If you're anything like me, you've learned that when you connect great people and great food, the opportunities are absolutely limitless. Well, we aren't the only ones. Rastelli's Meat Market, a nationally and internationally recognized company as an industry leader in food safety and food quality, is bringing you all of your animal proteins straight to your door. With more than 40 years of experience, they have been seeking out farming and fishing families that span generations, with a deep-rooted passion for their craft and a proven history of caring for their animals and the environment that they grow up in. They're delivering all of your animal proteins straight to your door in a vacuum-sealed packaging that can stay frozen for up to a year. I mean, the opportunities here with this are limitless. They have everything from antibiotic-free steaks and burgers, chicken and pork, to filet mignon, lobster, wild-caught shrimp, antibiotic-free ribeyes and salmon and tuna. You name it, they have it. They also have frozen meals. And the best part, people, is you can earn up to 27.5% IBV commissions for buying your dinner for you and your family on a monthly basis, okay? If you are on auto ship with Rastelli's on a monthly basis, you can earn 27.5% commissions on anything you may order. If you want to just do a one-time purchase, you can earn 22%. What an amazing deal. What a time to be alive. You can get paid for the very food that is on your plate, and you can do so with peace of mind because you know it is very, very high quality. Rastelli's Meat Market does not lack on quality at all. One of the newest partners with shop.com. So make sure to go to shop.com/Limitless Theory and search Rastelli's, RASTELLIS, and earn 27.5% or 22% on your next dinner meal. All right? Check it out. I know you won't be disappointed. Did I tell you guys about my new water filtration system? It's sitting right on my kitchen counter, and it took me less than 5 minutes to install. It's super easy, and it's very beneficial, saving me a lot of time and money. It's called Pure H2O. Pure H2O filters out the chlorine taste and bad odors, greatly improving the quality and the clarity of your tap water with literally the flip of a switch. It can take out 97% of the chlorine found in typical tap water and 77 other contaminants. And I said it's saving me time and money. Filtered water is environmentally responsible because you're choosing not to buy plastic water bottles. And those prepackaged water bottles, as we are learning, are far less healthy than we think. There's a lot of contaminants in those things. They're being mass produced, and those companies are caring more about the money and less about the quality. All right, so Pure H2O cares a little bit more. They're not looking for mass production. They're looking for high quality. And it's your water, and we understand that water is the foundation of the body. There's a strong connection between the quality of our water and a long, healthy life, right? Our bodies are 72% water, and that requires us to refill and fulfill that on a daily basis with pure, clean water for optimal health. So take the first step towards better health with Pure H2O. You can get an over-the-counter water filtration system or under-the-counter installation kit. Either way, it's a great option for you and your family to take the next step towards health. So go over to shop.com/limitlesstheory and use code 10OFFMA for 10% off your purchase of a Pure H2O water filtration system. Alrighty guys, until then, drink pure.